let's talk quickly. I do want to at least mention the Notepad patents.
Yeah, so patents filed
So
back
it got me
June.
excited.
Yeah, June of 2021. So that was around the same time some of those early rumors had gone up about it. So it didn't really tell us anything new. It just confirms a couple things. One, that it's looking like it definitely is going to be a wide screen when you open, which then confirms it'll be wider when it's closed, which is the biggest thing for me. And I think
a more usable outside screen.
And I think if you've never used one of these foldable phones for a lengthy period of time, you're like, it's not that big of a deal, but it really gets frustrating to use, because whether you think you're going to or not, if you buy a foldable phone, you'll use it with it closed quite a bit, because you reach in your pocket, grab out,
looking at notifications,
put it back. So you're going to use that outside screen a lot, probably like 50% of the time, to be honest. And the opening it up is like, okay, I'm ready to dig into something or sit and spend some time just on my phone, or doing like watching a video or whatever, or playing a game or something like that. And the other times you're going to have it closed. It's just the way that you're going to use it. And so having a screen on the outside that is more like a normal phone screen,
not a Snickers bar.
Yeah, and it helps make apps work better. It helps your keyboard not feel so cramped. It's a bunch of things. And I was surprised. I thought maybe Samsung finally with the Fold 4 would start moving in that direction. I just think it's a smarter, like everybody that reviewed the Oppo Find N, which was their first foldable, but they went that, they're just like, this feels so much more. It's the screen on the inside is, I don't know, 6 or like 7 inches versus the almost 8 that you get on the Fold. But the Galaxy Z Fold is almost a square screen. It's actually a little tall when you first open it. You can flip it and it's technically landscape, but it's more square than 4x3. Mm-hmm. It's pretty close to square. From the looks of it, the Oppo is still a landscape kind of thing when you open it.
Because you're square, you open up, boom.
Yeah, it's more like a landscape screen. And if you think, if you took a 16:9 screen, fold it in half, you get 16:9, you get what would the 8x4.5, which is going to get you pretty close to 16:9 again on the other side, because 16:9 is almost a 2-to-1 ratio. So, with that layout, I mean, I think it just makes more sense. If I'm holding a portrait phone and I want more screen real estate, used to is like go landscape and deal with whatever oddities you might run into there. It's like, no, I open this thing up and it's landscape, and that's just kind of, I don't know, that makes more sense to me. Even
you can have 2 screens on each side, multitask. You can watch a movie in that orientation.
And if you want it portrait that way, turn it, fine, no big deal. Yeah. But I feel like when you open it up, what you would want is, you want a landscape layout. It makes more sense. And so I think it's just a better form factor in all ways. It'll have some bezels from the looks of it. They're actually going to put a front-facing camera in the bezel. That was what the patent was for. I have no idea how they got a patent for that.
It's like we were talking. It's like, is it just a
I don't know,
slightly different way of doing
it's like
it?
Camera with aperture in bezel for foldable screen. But didn't Samsung do that? Like the first Fold, remember, had the big kind of cutout in the right corner for the camera. So
is it maybe in screen? Like, is this one going to be like a little hole punch, and maybe that's why?
No, it's in the bezel.
Weird.
It's clearly in the bezel.
Really? Yeah.
And and I don't know if people are looking at this and like, oh, well, the bezels look a little bit bigger than the Samsung's. Yeah, they probably do. But again, if you've used a larger screen device, having some bezel to hold on to is actually kind of nice.
It's not a bad thing. Yeah.
It's not. Like, you don't want to be big, half-inch bezels on the edge, and it doesn't look like that at all. It really, the way the patent picture looks, apart from the screen going all the way across the center of it, the top and bottom little hinge sections, kind of where they're highlighting different stuff in the patent drawings. It reminds me of the Microsoft Surface Duo. Yeah. It looks exactly like it, actually, because it has a slight bezel across the top and small bezels, around the edges, and then the two, because it's 2 screens, 2 separate screens connected with 2 really great hinges. I think that's just, from the drawing, it's just an optical illusion a little bit. It's not going to look like the Duo, but it's going to have, I feel like, more of that form factor-ish, which I love the Duo. I love the form factor of it. I hated the fact that they had a huge gap in the middle of the screen, basically.
Yeah.
Because even if you could span stuff, like especially for like first-person shooter type games, like that's where you got to shoot. It's in the middle of the screen all the time, so everybody you're aiming at like disappears into the crevice, and so
they're gone.
You can't see them anymore. And so but it was useful for like multitasking and stuff because the size on each side made more sense. Like even again with the Z Fold, you open up this little candy bar, and if you want to go side by side with your apps, they're both little candy bars too. Like you got to open it, flip, and then go side by side. And like this, I just think overall this is all going to make this device better. And the fact that they filed that patent, I don't know if they have any control over when patents get published. So it was published like 3 days ago. It was filed back in June of last year, but
I'm not sure.
I don't feel like they do. Probably,
I feel like they probably, like with FCC filings, they can file a letter of confidentiality, which means the FCC filing is applied for. It's going through the processes, and in that process, all the details are kind of hidden until a certain date. But once the filing is approved, then it's public knowledge. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just most of it's kept under wraps, and then it gets approved, and they send them a letter and say, hey, your filing's approved, and now it's going to be public.
Yeah, because it's like, well, if they're just coming out with it public now, like that timing would point to maybe it is going to show up at the October event. Like if they were holding on to it for a certain date or whatever, I don't know, but I don't know if that's the case. And interestingly enough, too, this is the World, I don't know, it's a WIPO, something International Patent Office, I would assume.
Andy can.
Yeah, I looked that up. But this wasn't just the U.S. Patent Office. This was the worldwide
World Intellectual Property Organization.
Oh, I was so off.
Intellectual.
Yeah, the world part.
You were
word.
It was world something something.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, it was a worldwide patent, which that organization apparently works with all the countries' different patent offices to
trickle them down.
Basically say like, hey, if we all agreed that this is a thing, you should agree to it's a thing.
Yeah.
So again, they got a worldwide patent on a folding phone with a camera in the bezel.
Okay.
But I don't really care about like patent laws. Really crazy. So not really so interested in the exact patent as much as like seeing the device, like seeing actual drawings of the device for the patent.
Yeah. Do you all think there's any chance that it might actually show up at this event, or is it more of a tease like they did
50-50.
At I/O?
I'm feeling 50-50 at this point. Like
I think it's a tease, but
here's the reason I don't think it's a tease is if they show up with it, it's going to have lesser cameras than the Pixel 7. It's clearly at best going to have Tensor 2 in it. It's like if you tease it and it comes out later.
We talked about this.
You're getting into that product
yeah.
cycle again, where you're just like, are you going to sell any of these things? Because
or if you have the Pro or Ultra or whatever your biggest flagship, nice phone that you just announced,
right?
Are you like, cannibalizing that a little bit by
here's
saying,
this other thing.
Here's this other one that's coming?
And
okay, well, I'll just hold off and buy that.
I'll wait and see when that comes out, and then I'll make my decision.
Right.
It's like, I think you're better off just to launch it. I think it's going to be a niche product. So
what if they tease it and say coming with Tensor 3?
Like next year?
Well,
they announced
a tablet, Android tablet.
That's coming in
year,
like 9 years from now.
Who knows?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the hardware event would be a weird place to do that. I think this is where we launch products.
This is a launch event.
It's either going to launch. They're going to launch it at this thing, or they're not going to talk about it.
Just keep an eye on Rick. You'll be able to tell from the look on his face if they're getting ready to surprise us. Anything.
He was grinning.
He's like a kid in a candy shop, man. I loved it. I loved it. He's like,
check it out.
We know what you're doing, dude.
Check it out.
But yeah, I hope it shows up. I really do. Like the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro interest me, but nowhere near as much as the Notepad would.
Yeah.
I would take the downgrade in camera hardware in a heartbeat.
For sure. Yeah, I think I'm with you on that.
It's not for everybody. I get it. Like this isn't like, hey, instead of making a Pixel 7 Pro, we're going to make this. Like, no, that's not what this is. This is for the people that are interested in like a different form factor and trying something else and spending a little bit more on your phone. And I really, really want to get my hands on one.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think I didn't downgrade to the 6, but the 6 isn't, it doesn't have all of the features that the Pro does, right? And so I've been using that phone for a while, and it's great, and it works perfectly for me. Like it's a great phone for me. But there's always that like little part of me that's like, ooh, well, the Pro had that. I wish I kind of would have just gotten the Pro, and so I'm like, I've kind of been itching for that for a new device because we're just, we're techie. We like having the newest, coolest stuff, and so like anytime I don't have that, I find myself wanting, that nicer device. And so I think the Fold, especially, I haven't ever used. You've experimented with some folding devices, but that I'm not willing to do it until it's gonna be from Google.
Yeah, a great experience. Now, if I could get an Oppo Find N with, they don't have Play Store, do they? Or do they? It might just be Huawei.
I think it's just Huawei.
Oh, I thought for some reason they didn't have it either.
I don't think they have one you can buy stateside. You'd have to import it and hope that the stuff works. Like that's
all
a whole
your carrier
mess.
stuff.
But if they had one of those with a pretty clean build, because they're the ones that basically own OnePlus or their sister companies or whatever, however that works. They have a pretty clean Android build. I would absolutely give one of those a try. If there was one stateside, there just isn't one.
It's gotten pretty good reviews.
Yeah, I just think it's a great, like the form factor looks so interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
But if I think the Pixel Notepad, I always want to call it Pixel Fold. I think the Pixel Notepad is going to follow in a similar trajectory. And Google has been working on foldable phones for a while from a software standpoint, like making Android better. A 12L was a big step in that direction. All that stuff obviously rolled into Android 13. So it's like I feel like Android is at a spot where it's ready for this form factor, and Google having a flagship phone that supports that, I think it's an important move, whether it sells a bunch or not. Like they need it. It'd be like them, how many years they went having Android and never having an Android phone of their own. Like the Nexus line was at least something that they could kind of put their name on. Or it'd be like them, going forever if they only had other people making Chromebooks and they never once made their own Chromebook. It'd just be weird. Like you should at least, show us a couple every once in a while. And I think the Fold could be something like that. It's like part of the Pixel family. So. It's a thing. We're going to use it to help get better at making foldables because now we're vested in this ecosystem. Yep. We're not just like, hey, you guys, we'll fix that hardware or that software thing for your hardware eventually. Yeah. Well, now if they put out a phone, it kind of vests them into that whole ecosystem. And I do think eventually folding phones are going to be a lot more normal because there's just some extra things you get with them. But, they have some time to go before they become mainstream, I think.
Yeah, but Google getting in on it is going to push it.
Yeah, it's the right move for them, I think. But regardless of why they do it or how they do it, like I really, really would love to have a Pixel phone that folds in half.
Yeah. Yep.
Not this way though.
I can fold
I went this way.
Yeah. See, I'm kind of
past the.
I just have no urge for the whole folding in half thing. I'm like, if I carried a bag or something and it went in a bag all the time, I would be
like, I want to go. I want to go up to Timo and fiddle with the new. They made a new one, didn't they?
Samsung,
I want to fiddle with it. There's something I really like about it.
He's that old cell phone day. He just wants to hang up.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Never talked. Talked to your dad on the phone yesterday. That's like the only person I've talked to on the phone this week.
If your other hand's full, you just get it on the side of the leg, close it up, right in the pocket. That's right.
Does it flip open? Can you flip it open?
Oh my gosh.
That's why Michael Fisher likes it so much, because it's like a Star Trek thing.
Oh, yeah. Not my. I want the folding factor to give me phone and tablet.
Right.
That's always been the dream.
And that's why I want
games. I want apparently Samsung. The rumor is too they're making a Galaxy Tab foldable. So a big tablet that folds down to a small tablet.
Yeah, maybe I don't know.
What would be the point of this?
I don't know.
So you can squeeze it into your back pocket.
Because I can.
But I like that they have a long way to go. But these new laptops that are coming out, like Asus has one. It's like $8,000 or something ridiculous.
Super Saf just posted a something. I don't know what.
I've long said, like, to me, a phone that opens up to a tablet is the one thing, and then the laptop that can unfold be a nice big monitor for me to work at the desk. Yeah. But fold in half and be typing down here in its laptop. It's both of those things. That's another awesome form factor. Another thing you could do. And so I know Lenovo and Asus are rolling
Trying-
those out.
yeah, trying
In
some of
its
that.
early stages of
Yeah.
those things, so they're expensive. But
Yeah.
I think that's where the folding screens could really excel.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Chromecast. If you want to see this full episode, we have a separate YouTube channel for that, the Chromecast Podcast. You can just go check it out. I think we link it in the description. Do we
Should.
link those in the description? We probably should.
We should. If we don't, we should.
We will.
If we don't, we should.
If we don't, we will.
We'll make sure to do that on this one. But if you like this content, give us a thumbs up. Go in there, click subscribe, and the notification bell if you want to get a little notification when we publish another clip, just like this one. And that's it. We'll catch you in the next one. See ya.